is up, my crafty friends? My name is Carrie, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. Whether it's your first visit or you're a returning subscriber, I want to say welcome, my friend. Y'all, I cannot believe it is time for our December tiered tray box to be unveiled. It seems like since I've started doing these tiered tray subscriptions, the months have just been flying by. I am not even kidding. I can't wait to show you the December box, but first, I want to say a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. They're an online learning community where people like me and you who are creative love to come and learn new skills. You can learn illustration design, photography, video, freelance, and so much more. I've just signed up for this class with Michelle B called Designing the Life You Want. 4 exercises for clarity and motivation. Lord knows I need all the help I can get. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box is going to get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Now that that is out of the way, I can show you what is going to be in our December box. It is so stinking cute. Being a former baker, you can probably guess what the theme is going to be. So that's enough talking, y'all. Let's hop on the workspace and let's start painting our December tiered tray kit. Okay, y'all, here is our December box. I can't wait to show y'all what the theme is. It is so stinking cute. It is definitely my favorite box so far. So you ready? Y'all, look at all of this cuteness. If you have not guessed already, the theme for December is gingerbread. Isn't that adorable? So give me just a second to unpack the box and I'll come back and show you everything that's in it. Okay, y'all, I've got the box all unpacked and you can see why this one is definitely my favorite. Look at all of the cuteness that's included in this December box. Honestly, I've got so many favorite pieces. I can't even choose one. Let's start off with our garland. So for the garland this month, you're going to get your candy. So you've got your peppermints and your gumdrops. And instead of jute twine this month, I'm including this red and white baker's twine. Isn't that adorable? You're also going to get this cute little rolling pin that says sugar and spice. You're going to get a tag to put on your tassel that says, oh snap, and you've got your gingerbread with his little foot snapped off. You're also going to get this cute little cutting board, and y'all, I've done a lot of this hard work for you because I've actually engraved this for you. This does take me a little bit longer to do, but I love the way that this turned out. So we've got Gingerbread Baking Company, Baked Fresh Daily, bread, cookies, pies, and the cupcakes. And you've got a cute little gingerbread man that you can paint and some little hearts to go on either side. So to follow along with that cupcake, I've included a cute little peppermint cupcake. I think this is so precious. We've also got a Merry Christmas cookie sheet. Y'all, look how cute this is. You can make this Merry Christmas go straight like this, or you can turn it. I'm a big fan of turning things on their side, so that's probably how I'm going to do mine. And you can place your gingerbread people on here if you want to. You can put your candies on here. I am including a lot of candy scattered pieces this month, so you can fill in with any of those items that you want to. I've got some gumdrops, I've got some little jelly candies and your peppermints, and I've even included a couple of candy canes. Aren't these cute? And I did them separate, so they're going to be super easy to paint. And I'll be honest, I did get super excited and I went ahead and painted one ahead of time just so I could see what it was going to look like. Isn't that cute? So you're going to get 4 candy cane pieces. If you want to put 2 of those candy cane pieces onto your gingerbread house, you can definitely do that. But I've designed it so that you have the choice. You can either put your candy cane pieces on there or you can leave them off. Y'all, I've also got these adorable little utensils. I could not help myself. I had to give us some utensils to go along with our rolling pin and all of the rest of our baking stuff. So you're going to get a couple of little gingerbread boy and gingerbread girl. So you might even want to make this a gingerbread girl. You might even want to stack your gingerbread boy onto the side. It is totally up to you. I designed these kits so that you kind of have a guide to go by, but y'all, I want you to use your imagination. I want you to get creative and use your own thinking and your own creativity in these. And last but not least, I've got this cute little gingerbread round cookie. I've seen these online and I think they are so stinking cute. You can make it a girl, or if you want to, it can be a little boy. It is totally up to you. And y'all, just like every single month, I also give you stands for all of your pieces to stand up on your trays. I really try to think about this. I want y'all to use your trays and I want it to be easy to use. So that's why I include stands for all of our pieces. So if you want to check out the December box, I'll put a link to that down in the description box below so you can place your order. I have had to discontinue the subscription service. I'm still going to have a box every month. It's just not going to be pulled automatically because I'll be completely honest, I had a hard time trying to figure out how to make it work. So we're going to keep it easy. I'm going to put out the video every month and then you have the option if you want the box or don't want the box. If you want to follow along with me as I paint this, then keep watching. If you want to go ahead and hop off and order your December box and come back later and paint it with me, you can definitely do that. So let's get started painting our December box. So I'm just going to grab a Dollar Tree plate here so we can use as our mixing palette. I love using these because if I let my paint dry on there and I'm too lazy to wash it off, I can just scrape it and it comes right off. So let's look at our paint palette. We're going to be using some red. Of course, you know, I've got to have my turquoise. I've got some pink, some pearl, some silver, some gray, some white, a little bit of vanilla, and then I'm also going to be using the brown for our little gingerbread man. Y'all, these are just merely the colors I'm going to be using. Feel free to use your own creativity to match any of your themes you've got going on. So I think I want to use my brown first. I want to go ahead and paint everything that is going to be brown while I've got this on my palette. And I'm going to be playing around with some brushes today that I actually picked up at Ross. I paid $3.99 for this little package of gold Taklon brushes. I've got some round ones, I've got some flat ones. So I'm kind of excited to see how these do. These are Royal and Langnickel brushes. Again, I got all of these brushes for $3.99. So let's see how they're going to work out. I'm going to pick up one of the flat brushes. And I really like using foam brushes for a lot of the projects. But I just want to test these out to see how they're going to do. So this brown that I'm using is a Craft Mart and it's just the regular brown. This is a matte finish. And it's a very nice gingerbread color. I actually went into Michael's and looked at every single brown color they had to see which one I liked best for gingerbread. And this one definitely was the winner. Now, if you want to get really technical with your gingerbread men, you can paint this brown and then you can actually go back with a tiny little brush and you can give him some details. But y'all, isn't that adorable? This is going to be so cute on our little cutting board. So now I'm just going to go and paint all of the other gingerbread. Okay, so that's all of our brown. So next we're going to move on to our silver. Let's get everything that I'm going to paint silver. I'm actually going to use gray and silver. And before I get started, I am going to go ahead and glue the top to my tray onto the bottom because I think that's going to make it a lot easier to paint. So for this, I'm just going to use some of my Starbond Thick Glue. You can also use wood glue. You can even use let me cut the top off of it. You can even use hot glue if you want to, but I really like the instant bond that I get with my Starbond. And Starbond is specifically made for wood. And I also like that I can get a tiny little bead, so I don't get a lot of glue if I don't want to. Before you put your glue on, you want to make sure that you've got your sides touching that are supposed to be touching. It is just a little bit different, so it's not like it can be interchanged. So we'll get this glued down, and I'm first going to paint this so I don't have to put so much of my silver on. I'm going to first go in and paint this with my koala gray from Arteza, and then I'm going to go over the top of that with a little bit of my silver from Arteza. Now while I've got my glue out and open, I'm going to go ahead and glue my little gingerbread man on, and the hearts, because the hearts would actually be easier to paint after it's glued on. You do have some extra little smaller scattered peppermint pieces. If you'd rather have peppermint instead of the hearts, you could definitely do that. So that's what I mean when I tell you you can do whatever you want to. This is just, I'm giving you the pieces for you to just get creative. That is going to be so cute. I honestly don't know if I want to paint my hearts pink or if I want to paint them red, but I've got a few minutes to decide because I'm not ready for those colors yet. So I think that's all of the stuff that I want to go ahead and glue down. So next I wanted to go in with that koala gray. And as my little gingerbread men are drying, I may see that I need to paint another coat on them. Just depends on how they look when they're completely dry. But that's why I've still got my brown on my plate. So I'm going to go in with another one of these brushes here. This is one of the bigger flat brushes. And I want to paint it this gray first, so it'll make it easier. And then as the gray starts to dry, I'll go back in with silver. You can do straight silver if you want to, but sometimes it'll take a couple of coats of silver. So that's why I just like to put a base coat down of the gray. This little tray is so stinking cute. Also in the koala gray, I'm going to paint my utensils. And I've actually gone ahead and painted a couple of those ahead of time too, because I couldn't resist to see what those were going to look like as well. And it is completely up to you if you want to paint the backs of your projects. Some people don't worry about them because they're not going to be seen. So it is totally up to you. And if you want to paint your sides, you can. I tend to like my sides to stay the dark brown color from where they were cut on the laser. But if you want to paint those sides, you can definitely do that too. I won't paint the utensils on camera because I did go ahead and do those ahead of time. But I will show you what they look like. What color scheme are you going with for your tiered tray this month? Being a former baker, I knew I definitely wanted to do a gingerbread theme. Gingerbread is my absolute favorite, and I have so many gingerbread decorations that I've had over the years for my kitchen. And honestly, I kind of like the gray by itself, so I might just go in and highlight some on the tray when it dries. I may not do the whole thing, but let me show you the utensils that I did ahead of time. Aren't those cute? And again, if you want to paint your utensils all a turquoise or a red or whatever color you can, but I kind of like the way it looks with the gray and the silver and then your pop of color on the handles. So those are done. Isn't that cute? I don't think there's anything else that I need to paint silver or my gray. So I'm just going to put a little bit of silver so I can get rid of this. And I really think I like not painting the whole thing silver. I just like adding in those highlights. It is so cute. Y'all, when you get through with your kits, I would love for you to tag me so I can see how you painted them. It makes me so happy when I get emails from y'all and when I see that you've tagged me on social media. It just really makes me happy. I'm so happy y'all are enjoying these tiered trays. I really do put a lot of time and a lot of thought when I design them. I know a lot of this is going to be covered up, so I'm not going to put too much time into it, but I did just want to give it that metallic look. Okay, so now we can just put this to the side and let it dry. While I've still got my brown out, I will off camera go ahead and put another coat on my little gingerbread men just so that they're nice and covered. This Craft Mart brown is a little bit more transparent than what I'm used to with my Arteza paints, but I didn't have the right color that I wanted for my little gingerbread men in my Arteza. Okay, before we move on to the next color, I want to share with you a little pro tip. So if you've got your line here and you accidentally get paint down into your lines and you really wanted to still see that black line, just take a small little paintbrush that has a little bit of water on it and just use that water to wash out the paint that you get in there. When I score these lines for y'all, I actually do them pretty deep so that it is really easy to paint. So that's just a little quick tip for you. If you get paint in that line, don't think that you have to paint it. You just take off what you don't want. Okay, so next I want to go in with my white. Let me wash out my brown brush real quick. For this white, I'm just using a matte acrylic from Apple Barrel. It's just white. I've never used this before, so we are going to see together how it works. You can also use foam brushes when you've got something that's engraved like this. You can use your foam brush and you can go over it so that your words don't get paint in them. You'll still be able to see your words. I'm going to try this with this brush that I got from Craft Mart. Not Craft Mart, Ross. These are the brushes I picked up from Ross. And this seems to be working really, really well. But again, you can also do the same thing with your foam brushes. Our little gingerbread man is going to be so cute on here. Painting is so therapeutic to me, I swear. Even if I'm having a not so great day, if I just pick up a paintbrush, it just makes me feel so good. Okay, so I want to go ahead and paint my little rolling pin white too. Okay. Next up, I'm going to paint my icing on my cupcake. Now, also while I've got my white out, I'm going to paint the top part of my peppermint. And you'll see why in just a second. So while you paint the bottom, you can either do the bottom any color you want to, but my thought is I want my peppermint to be red and white, and then I'm going to paint this red. So the white is going to shine through, so that makes it easier to paint. Next, I'm going to paint the outside of my little gingerbread man face cookie, or if you want to make it a gingerbread lady, you can definitely do that. I made the bow so that it can go either place. And for my candy canes, I want to do them a little bit different than I did these. I'm going to paint them the opposite. So these are pink and red, and these I'm going to do white on the outside, and then our bottom is going to be red. Okay, next white, I'm going to paint my snow that's on top of my gingerbread house. And after this dries, I'm going to go back in and put a little bit of sparkle with some pearl. I think it would also be super cute to put a little bit of glitter. Y'all know I love me some glitter, especially at Christmas time. I think when it's Christmas, we are allowed to have a little bit more sparkle, don't you? Okay, and again, just like we did with our peppermint, I'm going to go ahead and paint inside my circles white. Next, I'm going to do the same thing with my peppermints, and I'm going to paint all of the peppermint white. It's easier to paint your edges and the other color, the contrasting color, whether you do red or green or whatever color you do with those. It's easier if you do the whole thing white and then go back in and add your stripes. And again, the lines are scored so that you can see where you need to paint. While I've got my white out, I want the eyeballs to my little gingerbread cookie here. I want those to be white too. This little guy is so cute. Now his nose, I actually want to be a little bit lighter. I don't want his nose and his cheeks to be the same color. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of pink. The little oval piece is his nose. I'm going to mix a little bit of that white and pink together just to get a lighter pink. I want them both to be pink, but just not the same color. And it's just a blushy pink. While I've got this little bit of pink out, I'll go ahead and paint the cheeks. The bigger circles are your cheeks. So I think I actually decided just now that I want the little outside trim of my door to be white as well. Okay, I think the only other thing that I've got that I need to paint white are some little details on my gingerbread man here. I'm not sure just yet if I'm going to put details on my bigger gingerbread man, but definitely because I've got the eyes and the nose or the mouth and the buttons already outlined on the one for the O snap tag, I definitely want to go ahead and put a little bit of white on them. That is. Oh, I just love him. Don't lose his little foot. So cute. Now that I have sat here and looked at this gingerbread house for a little bit, I have officially decided to paint it this really pretty pale pink. Next, I'm going to go in with this really pretty red. This is an apple barrel gloss paint. It's an indoor-outdoor color. So I'm going to paint my candy canes. I've got 4 of these to paint. I've already painted 2 ahead of time. And I'm going to do my Merry Christmas. Actually, no, I think I'm going to paint my Merry Christmas in turquoise. So whoopsie, I changed my mind. I am going to paint the sugar and spice in our red though. The Merry Christmas, I'm going to paint my turquoise. Oh my goodness, y'all. I can just envision how cute this is going to be. Okay, so let's grab the bottom part to our rolling pin and see real quick what it's going to look like. Oh my goodness, look how stinking cute it is. I can hardly stand it. Okay, so next up, I want to paint the stripes on my little peppermint candies. And because I have separated this out for you, it's going to be super easy to paint. I'm going to take one of my little round brushes and paint the stripes on our flat peppermints next. Oh my goodness, I cannot even stand how stinking cute this is. Okay, all that's left to do is to do our turquoise and then we can start putting it together. So off camera, I went and painted a second coat onto my pink for my house. Also painted a coat of pink onto my little round fat jelly beans here, or gumdrops rather. And now I'm picking up this really pretty aquamarine color from Apple Barrel. This is a beautiful, beautiful turquoise. I will tell you really quickly that the red that I used was an indoor-outdoor red from Apple Barrel, and the formula on that is very, very nice. It goes on so well, and with it being an indoor-outdoor, the formula is really nice and thick. I don't normally use indoor-outdoor colors, but I think I'm going to have to start. So in this really pretty aquamarine color, I'm going to paint my Merry Christmas. I'm also going to paint the bottom of my cupcake, and then I'll go back and paint the little gumdrops. I keep forgetting what these are called. They're gumdrops. The gumdrops for the garland. I think it would also be super cute after everything dries on the gumdrops. If you wanted to take a little bit of glitter, you could even glitter the tops of your little gingerbread house here with a little bit of glitter too. I think that would be so stinking cute. Just use a little Mod Podge. You might could honestly even drop your glitter down into your wet paint. But I know the Mod Podge will definitely hold it. Yeah, we are almost done. I'm going to let all of this dry really well, and after it does, we're going to come back and glue it, and then we're going to set it up on our tray so y'all can see it. I would love to know what color scheme you might do with your gingerbread house. Y'all know turquoise is my thing, so of course I had to have turquoise in mine. Are you going to go a little bit more modern with some fun and funky colors, or are you just going to stick with the traditional red, white, and brown? Let me know down below. Okay, there is our Merry Christmas words all done. Y'all, I think I have got everything painted except for my little doorknob on my door, and I'll do that off camera after this dries. So we'll give this just a few minutes, and then when we come back, we'll be ready to glue everything down. Okay, I think everything is dry and we are ready to start putting together. And again, I'm going to be using my Starbond Thick Glue today. You can use super glue, you can use wood glue, you could even use a tiny little dab of glue, hot glue if you wanted to, but I like using the Starbond because I can get a really good hold with just a little bit, like a tiny little drop. So we'll just glue the top part on here, and I do like to go and touch just a little few places onto my words. I'm not going to put them everywhere, but I'm just going to put them a few places. Now let's stick those together. Isn't that cute? Oh, it's so cute. I'm so ready to get this on my tray. So now I'll stick my candy canes together. After I get my house all put together, I am going to go back with a little bit of that pearl paint. And on the snow parts, I just want to touch just a little bit, just so it sparkles. I might even go back with some glitter like I talked about earlier. I think that would be really cute. Are y'all enjoying these tiered trays as much as I am? It's just so much fun for me to design. I think that little turquoise door just makes everything pop, don't you? It is so cute. So I'll put a little bit of glue here and on the bottom. Now, if you decide to put the candy canes on the corners like this, just know that the bottom, it's going to lean forward a little bit because this is going to have two layers of wood, whereas the bottom piece here only has one. But I like that it kind of gives it like a three-dimensional effect. My gosh, I can't even stand it. It's so stinking cute. Okay, remember our little cutting board we did earlier? Isn't that cute? I love how it looks when it's engraved, and the little gingerbread man with the two little hearts totally pop. Now remember, if you wanted to, you could put your little peppermints on either side. That is totally up to you. You've got pieces here, so just play around with them and have a lot of fun. So next I want to do our little gingerbread girl, or if you decide yours is going to be a boy, do your gingerbread boy. Cute. I love how quickly all of the stuff with the tiered trays comes together. It's not like you're going to spend hours and hours putting it together. It comes together really quickly. And don't lose your little foot for your little gingerbread man. Isn't he cute? I love him. Now, it would be super cute to color some wooden beads with your turquoise paint and then string that up and put your tassel with your red and white string that's included in your kit. I want to save the tray for last. So we'll do the cupcake next. Okay, so we just have our little Merry Christmas tray to put together next. And I really like the way it looks going sideways. So that's how I'm going to attach mine. Now, you will get stands to go with all of your pieces. And if you wanted to, you could definitely paint your stands. I'm going to leave mine this natural color to kind of bring in some of the naturalness from our cutting board. Look how cute that is. All of your pieces are going to have their own stand. So now I want to string up our little garland. And if your garland is, if your little ribbon is frayed on the end, or your baker's twine is frayed on the end, you can definitely put a little piece of clear tape over the end or a little bit of painter's tape, and that's going to help you to string that up. Okay, there is our garland. Isn't it adorable? Now, your little utensils here, you can use them to just kind of stand up beside your cutting board. When that's on your stand, you can have it kind of propped up against your sugar and spice. I just think they're so cute, and I definitely wanted to include those in the kit. Okay, so the very last thing that we need to do is to make our tassels. So your twine is going to come like this in your box already wrapped up. You can redo it if you want to, but I wind it up so that it's easy for you to do. So you want to cut a couple of pieces. You want to cut a couple of pieces roughly 6 or 8 inches long. You're going to have 2 strings hanging down. We want to keep those hanging down. And I know sometimes I do the tassel that doesn't require any glue, but to be honest, this twine is just a little bit more flimsy and it doesn't work as well. So that's why we're going to use our hot glue today. So I'll just tie a knot into the top one, and then we'll take this piece and put a little drop of hot glue, and we'll wrap this around. Now after you get your wooden beads strung up, if you're going to put wooden beads, you can just attach your tassel to the end of your beads. After your hot glue cools off, just take a pair of scissors and trim your ends. Make sure they're all the same. Whoops, I forgot a loop here. Okay, there's our little baker's twine tassel. You could just tie it directly on here, but I think I definitely want to add in some of those turquoise wooden beads. And honestly, you can find those at Michael's. I ordered a bunch of them off of Amazon, and they are super, super cheap. Okay, so let's go set everything up on our tiered tray and see what it looks like. That does it for today's video, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and painting our December tiered tray kit. I think it is so stinking cute. I am absolutely thrilled with how this box turned out. And don't forget, if you want to grab one of the boxes for yourself, I'll have a link to it down in the description box below. Until next time, happy DIYing, y'all.